I know many will say that working alone on the night shift causes people to hallucinate. Out of exhaustion, the brain makes up bizarre things. But the pressure of that man's fingers on my neck, that was no illusion created by the brain. November 2022, a small coastal town in Louisiana. Hurricane Ida had struck a few months earlier. The situation all around was not very good. Many people had left the town. Businesses had suffered losses. I took a job as a night auditor at a hotel in that town. I didn't take the job for fun. I desperately needed money. My father's medical bills were piling up, and after the hurricane, this was the only job that nobody wanted to do. 11 at night, 7 in the morning. And old's prosody rate, and quat, slow and quat. Volume equals soft, alone. Except for 4 or 5 rooms, the entire hotel was almost empty. November nights in Louisiana are not exactly bone-chillingly cold, but there is a damp, sticky humidity in the air. A kind of cold that gets straight into the bones. For the first few weeks, I had no problems. The silence of the night did not scare me. But around 2:30 in the morning, the lobby's automatic door opened and a man walked in. Middle-aged, wearing a dark jacket. There was something strange about the way the man walked. He came straight to the front desk and stood there. Then, in a very calm voice, he said he needed a towel. I asked for the room number. He gave a number that I knew was occupied. I took a towel out of the cabinet and handed it toward him. He grabbed the towel. But he didn't pull. I was holding it, and he was holding it too. A few seconds passed just like this. He wasn't looking into my eyes. He was staring at my neck. His gaze was such as if he were measuring something. Then he took the towel, turned around, and walked away. I kept my eyes on the CCTV monitor. He didn't get into the elevator. He went to a dark corner of the corridor and stood there. Then he started wiping his own neck with the towel, over and over, very hard, as if he was imagining grabbing someone else by the throat. About 5 minutes later, he came back toward the front desk. This time, he claimed his keycard wasn't working. I asked for the room number. He said, 4B. I immediately looked at the computer screen. There is no room named 4B in our hotel. This part of the building only has numbers, no letters. To be sure, I asked him his name. He gave no answer. I rewound the CCTV footage a little and watched. The main door locks at 10 at night. This man is not our guest. Actually, a little while ago, when a real guest was entering, he had slipped inside right behind them before the door closed. I told him, and old prosody volume equal and quote, loud and quote, pitch equals +2%. Sir, there is no booking under your name. You have to leave now. He didn't say a word. He slowly came right up close to the front desk counter. He leaned over the glass partition toward me. His eyes were unblinking, completely lifeless, 2 dead eyes. No shouting, no strange smile. He said in a very low voice, almost whispering, I will kill you tonight. I immediately stepped back a few paces. My heart started pounding. I gathered myself, pointed my finger at him, and shouted, Get out of here. I am calling the police. I thought he would get scared or run away, but he didn't budge an inch. Those lifeless eyes of his stayed fixed on me. I picked up the landline from under the desk. My hands were shaking so much that I couldn't press the buttons properly. I dialed 911 right in front of him, holding the receiver to my ear. I looked at him and said, I have made the call. Now a strange, twisted smile appeared on the corner of the man's lips, as if he was mocking me. I heard the dispatcher's voice on the phone. 911, what is your emergency? I practically shouted, starting to explain to the dispatcher what was happening right in front of my eyes, without taking my eyes off the man for a single second. As I was saying the hotel's address, the man started stepping backward very slowly. No rush. He very calmly, step by step, backed away toward the lobby's automatic door. His eyes were still on me. As the door opened, he faded into the darkness outside. I let out a deep sigh and told the dispatcher, He left. The dispatcher asked me if I still wanted an officer sent. At that moment, my first thought was that the menace was gone and there was no point in unnecessarily escalating the hassle. I was going to say, no, everything is fine, but as soon as that man's smile crossed my mind, I changed my decision. I said, yes, please send someone. Small town, so it took the police 15 minutes to arrive. They checked the entire area and saw the man wandering around at the far end of the parking lot, a short distance from the hotel. But to my disappointment, the officer came and informed me that the man could not be arrested. He hadn't laid a hand on me. This is only considered a verbal threat. They gave him a trespassing warning and escorted him off the property. The officer reassured me and said, "Don't be afraid. We have driven him away from this area." I believed their words. This was my biggest mistake. My shift ended at 7 in the morning. It was still foggy outside. The morning light hadn't properly broken yet. My house is only a 15-minute walk from the hotel. There was no one on the street. It was completely silent all around, except for the sound of my own shoes. After walking for 5 minutes, I heard another sound. Right behind the sound of my shoes, another sound of heavy shoes. If I stopped, the sound stopped. If I walked, it started again. My stomach churned. Suddenly, a realization struck my mind like a flash of lightning. The police had let him go around 3 in the morning. Now it is 7:15 in the morning. In this damp cold, was this man waiting for me in the dark for almost 4 hours? How did he know that I would return home using this very road? I wanted to look back, but my body became stiff. What is called the freeze response. My 2 feet seemed glued to the road, just like in a nightmare when you want to run but your feet won't move. Exactly like that. Before I could understand anything, a heavy body fell upon me from behind. His 2 hands grabbed my throat tightly. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out of my throat. The man had a pungent smell on him, the smell of old sweat and wet earth. His fingers were unnaturally cold. My vision was narrowing. The surroundings felt like a dark tunnel. Just a thumping sound inside my ears, my own heart beat. I was flailing my arms and legs, but it was as if I could no longer feel my own hands. The muscles were going numb. I was certain that I was going to die within a few seconds. Handled. Prosody. Radix fast. Right at that moment, there was a metallic sound very close by. The sound of a door opening in a nearby house. Someone was coming outside in the morning. The pressure of the man's fingers loosened for a second. He turned his neck and looked toward the sound. Then he dropped me to the ground and faded into the fog behind. I was sitting on the road, gasping for breath. I was trying to draw in deep breaths of air. The police had come again. But in that fog and darkness, the neighbor had not seen the man's face. There was no CCTV on the street either. Without evidence, the police couldn't do anything else. I never went back to that hotel again. I quit night shift work forever. I no longer leave the house without daylight. They say time makes you forget everything. Handled. Prosody rate H quad and quad. Slow and quad. Pitch equals 2%. But the body never forgets some things. Even now, sometimes before sleeping at night, I touch my own neck. Because even now, if I close my eyes in the dark, I feel that the man's cold fingers are resting right there. We locked the door that day, but a few seconds later, someone started trying to break it, and right then I realized, handled, emphasis, level, strong. I had made a mistake. I am Tyler. Around late October 2023, I used to work the night shift at a small local home improvement store in Virginia. Pro desk meaning contractors come, place bulk orders, and mostly somewhat rough, restless types of people. During the day, the place feels completely different. The wheels of carts, forklifts, people talking. All together, there is a constant noise. But toward the night, when the last customer leaves, that little click sound of the automatic door closing empties out the whole place. Then all that remains is handled, prosody, radicals, slow pitch, 2%. The low hissing sound of the fluorescent lights, and the long, empty aisles. Nicole and I were often on the closing shift together. She was quiet, focused during work, but a little hesitant when talking to customers. I had noticed, when she gets uncomfortable, she repeatedly folds the receipt paper with her fingers. It is a small thing, but if you see it repeatedly, you understand. One afternoon, a man stood in front of the counter and started talking to her. I was standing a little distance away, processing invoices. "Hey, you always work this late?" Nicole paused a little and said, "Sometimes, yeah." The man smiled slightly. "Good. Makes it easier to talk." This line of his did not sound normal. Nicole did not say anything. She just kept her head down and continued working. I noticed her fingers were folding that receipt paper again. Fast. A little too fast. I stepped forward. "You need help with something?" Handled. Break. Time equals 0.6s. The man looked at me. He was not looking away. A few seconds, completely quiet. Then he said, "No, I am just looking." He walked away. But while leaving, he looked back once. Not at Nicole, at me. That gaze was calculating. For the next few days, everything was just normal. Or That was what I was convincing myself, but small things had started. I would see the same man sitting in the parking lot inside the car, engine off, but he would sit there. One day I see he is walking slowly through the aisle, but not buying anything, just looking, not at people, at the layout, as if remembering something. Even then I was telling myself, you are overthinking. Then one evening, he came again. Nicole was on break then. He came and stood directly in front of me. Where is she? I had understood who he was talking about. She's not here. He remained quiet for a while. Then he said, you know her. I do not know why, but I had said then, yeah, she is my fiancée. The moment I said this, I myself paused a little, as if something inside my head was saying that was not right. The man smiled a little, but his eyes were completely empty. Okay, that is all he said. Then he slowly walked away. But in that moment, I felt he believed it, and this is a problem for him. That night, I did not tell Nicole. I thought it as nothing. No need to give unnecessary tension. But over the next few days, everything started changing a little bit. Nicole said one day, do you ever feel like someone is still here after closing? I laughed and said, no. But I myself had seen shadows in the back aisle a few times. A reflection that lingered a little too long. A shape that did not quite match. I was still saying, probably nothing. But deep down, something was building up, unease, slowly. That night, we were finishing closing. Register closed, cash in the safe, lights partially off. Final task taking out the trash. We took the bags and stood near the front glass door. The door was still locked. Before turning the key, I looked outside out of habit. Parking lot empty. 2 lights are on, nothing. I was going to unlock it, then I stopped. I will not be able to tell exactly why. Just a feeling. I looked outside again. This time, a little to the right, and right then I saw him. Adult, prosody rate, equal, end quote. Slow, end quote. Pitch equal, 2%. He was standing outside the light, in the half darkness, not moving, just standing. My heart pounded. I said slowly, do not open the door. Nicole stopped. Adult, prosody, rate equals fast pitch equals plus 3%. What? I did not say. I was just staring. The man slowly came forward. Under the light, now his face could be seen. Exactly the same. The same expression. No anger. No rush. Just still. He came and stood in front of the door, looking at us. Did not say anything. Nicole whispered, that is him, right? I did not answer. I just checked the lock again. It was fine. Then bang. Adult, break, time, equals 0.83. First strike on the door. We both startled. He hit it again, this time a little harder. Bang. The glass shook. Nicole stepped back. Tyler, I said, adult, prosody, volume, equals, loud, stay back. My own voice was shaking too. The man now pressed his hand against the glass, and the glass fogged up with his breath. He was saying something, but the sound was not coming through quite clearly. Only the lips were moving. Slowly. Move. I stood still. One thought was spinning in my head. I did this. I had lied. Bang. This time the strike was even harder. The glass bent inward a little. Nicole said from behind, I am calling 911. Her hands were shaking so much, I could hear the sound of the phone tapping against her fingers. I slowly stepped back, my eyes on the man. He stopped now. A few seconds. Completely quiet. Then he looked down, as if calculating something, then looked up again, directly at me. This time, came forward a bit, so close to the glass that I could see the reflection of his eyes. Slowly, he raised his hand again. I could understand. This time he will not stop. Adult, prosody rate, A quad, end quad, fast, end quad, volume equals X loud pitch, plus 4%. I said, come back, get behind the counter. Nicole ran. I looked at the door one last time, then stepped back. We got down under the counter. I could not breathe properly. The strike landed on the door again. This time the sound felt different, heavier. Bang, bang, bang. Nicole whispered, they said they are sending someone. I nodded and said, stay down. Adult, prosody, rate equals medium. We both sat down below, just listening to that sound. Bang, pause, bang, dendalt, prosody rate, AH watt, fast and quat. Pitchy gull is plus 2%. Suddenly everything stopped. No sound. I waited a few seconds. Then more. Nicole said, is he gone? Adult, prosody, rate, medium, malls. I did not get up immediately. I was just listening. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I slowly stood up, looked over the counter, the door. Still, some smudges on the glass. But no one is there. I kept staring for a few seconds. Did not move. Then slowly went forward. Nicole said from behind, "Tyler, do not." I did not stop. I went and stood in front of the door. Looked outside. The entire parking lot is empty, as if nothing happened. But on the glass, the handprints were there, completely clear, pressed inward. The police came that night. They saw the footage. The man was caught within a few days. Later, I heard it was not just that day. For the past few nights before that, he used to stand outside. We had not noticed. I quit the job a few days later. Nicole too. We still talk sometimes. Everything is fine now. But one thing I can never fix, I still check once, after locking the door. Then do it again. Even then, it feels like someone is standing outside and waiting for me to make a mistake again. I had locked the door from the inside, yet the sound was right behind me where there is no door. My name is Ethan, pseudonym. The incident is from November 2016. About an hour away from Portland next to the highway, I started working the night shift at a small budget motel. 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Most of the time, nothing happens on this shift. But what little does happen stays inside the head for a long time. The motel is simple: a glass door in the front, a small lobby, a desk on the right side. In the back, a narrow corridor goes and ends at a back office and a utility bathroom. The back office is the only place that can be locked from the inside. On the first day, Michael trained me. Before leaving, he stopped and said one thing. If someone keeps coming back after 2 a.m., do not assume that they forgot something. I had laughed. At that time, it just sounded like words. Around the third night, after about 1 a.m., the man arrives. The doorbell rings. I look. A middle-aged man is entering. Reddish eyes, dry face, wearing a dust-gathered jacket. After entering, he stands for a few seconds, as if he is getting to know the place. I said, "Can I help?" "You?" He slowly came forward, said, "Do you have a room?" His voice was hoarse. I started the check-in. He wrote his name, but his hand was shaking very subtly. While giving the key, he suddenly swatted at the air. Once, then again, then he made a sound like spitting. I stopped. "Everything okay?" He looked at me. His eyes were not still, as if he was seeing many things at once. "Yeah, flies." I looked around. There are no flies. Handled. Prosody. Rate equals medium. I did not say anything. I just gave the key. He left. Even after the door closed, I stood there for a few seconds. For no reason, it felt like something was not right. I sat back down. For about 15 minutes, everything was quiet. Then knock. I looked. He has come back. I opened the door and said, "Is everything okay?" Handled. Break. Time equals 0.5s. EE said the door is not opening. I gave a pop-tom. New key. This time, while taking the key, he brushed against my fingers. The skin was not cold, but unnaturally wet, as if he had not dried his hands after washing them. He left without saying anything. I locked the door. I told myself just a weird guest. That is it. But a few minutes later, knock, knock, knock. This time louder. I did not open the door. From inside, I said, "What do you need?" No answer. Handelt. Prosody. Radicals. Slow. Just the sound of breathing. Slow. Heavy. I cleared my throat and said, "Sir?" Handled. Prosody. Rate equals medium. Then he poked his face in a little through the gap in the glass. Eyes directly on me. "You don't like me." I stopped. "What?" he said. In the same way, "You don't like me." I said, "Sir, just go back to your room, okay?" He stared for a while. Then a soundless smile. Walked away. This time I went into the back office and locked the door. I took out the small pocket knife from the drawer. Michael had said if something happens at night, it is good to keep something close. I remained seated. I was trying to slow my breathing. Everything is fine. I was telling myself, he's in his room. Everything is fine. Right then, I heard the sound from the direction of the bathroom. At first so low that it felt like I was hearing wrong. "Kill her." Handled. Prosody rate, ask quote, fast and quote, fast and quote. Pitch equals +4%. I froze. I held my breath. Again, "Kill her." Handled. Break. Time equals 8 zone. This time clear. My chest tightened. I remained standing. I didn't go towards the door. I was just listening. Kill her. Kill her. The same voice. But not from one place. Once it felt like from the right side, then the left, then right behind me. I slowly turned my head. There is nothing behind. My throat was drying up. I said to myself, no. It is the vent. It is the vent. But just then, a thought came to my mind. I am a guy. Then who is her? Room number 108. There was a woman in there. My hands were shaking. Right then, handled. Emphasis. Level equals. Strong. Knock. On the back office door. I startled. Another one knock. Then his voice. I can't get in. I did not say anything. He said again, if you do not come, I will try another door. My chest pounded. Another door. 108. I remained standing. Two thoughts were fighting inside my head. Will I stay here or go out? If he goes there, I was not sure. I was really not sure. I went to the door, placed my hand on the handle, stood there for a few seconds. Hand was shaking. The sound of his breathing on the other side of the door. Slow, heavy. I unlocked the door, slowly opened it. He is standing, very close. But this time, instead of looking at me, he was staring at the side wall and muttering, they are not keeping quiet. You tell them to keep quiet. My heart was palpitating. I said, adult. Break. Time equals 0.2s. I will walk you to your room. He did not say anything, but he started walking behind me. We crossed the lobby, went outside. The night was unusually quiet. I was walking. He was very close to me. I could not hear the sound of his footsteps properly, only his breath. Slow, heavy. Once it felt like there isn't one person behind me. Adult. Prosody rate equals and quote. Slow and quad. Pitch equals 30%. 2. I did not stop. I intentionally walked past room number 108. The sound of the TV was coming from inside. I walked a little louder, so that someone inside could understand. I am there. He did not say anything. Just behind. I stopped in front of an empty room, opened the door. I did not look back. Said, here. He went inside, but stopped before entering, right next to me. His breath near my ear. They're still here. I did not move. He went inside, closed the door. I remained standing for a long time, then slowly returned to the lobby, locked the door, went into the back office and locked it again. Nothing else happened that night. No sound. Nothing at all, as if nothing happened. The next night, same time, he came back, standing in front of the door. I turned off the lights. I did not open the door. He was standing. For a long time, then slowly walked away. I had told the boss, he said, probably meth. It happens in this area. To him this is normal, but he didn't hear that sound. I had heard it. I still hear it sometimes, especially when the night is unusually quiet, where no cars pass by, no doors open. I sometimes hear the same whisper, very low, very close, kill her. And even today I am not sure whether, that night by taking him to that empty room I had saved someone. Or, he knew from the beginning which door I would open.